The new Secretary of Department of Homeland Security spent the day touring the Texas-Mexican border for the first time since taking office.
Action 4's Brett Crandall was at the San Luis Bridge today where he met with local officials. Brett joins us now from the Hidalgo County newsroom.
Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson met with local officials today to discuss how the Customs and Border Protection can help to not just improve security, but trade and commerce as well. More than $1 billion worth of goods move between Mexico and the U.S. every day. The nation's southern ports of entry right here in the Rio Grande Valley are more important to the United States economy than ever before. To better facilitate that trade, U.S. Customs and Border Protection will now hire 2,000 additional officers to man the nation's ports of entry, a good chunk of them moving to South Texas.
Homeland Security is not simply border security, port security. It is also facilitating and expediting trade and commerce.
Congressman Henry Cuellar of Laredo joined Johnson today to emphasize the importance of moving commerce across the border.
We literally have half of everything between the U.S. and Mexico comes through this area. So therefore, we got to make sure we get our fair share of our men and women in blue.
Also discussed today was a new provision in the recently passed appropriations bill that will allow local governments and the private sector to finance infrastructure improvements on the nation's ports of entry.
The private sector wants to put money in infrastructure because the federal government doesn't have enough money. They would let us.
The change will now allow the city of McAllen to spend $7 million of grant money it received to add commercial lanes along the San Luis Bridge.
If you have an economic interest in getting a service, you can pay the federal government to get that service.
Changes will also be taking place on the Mexican side of the border. The federal government appropriated $10 million to improve infrastructure and technology on the south side of the nation's bridges.
We do our work and we help the Mexicans do their part, and therefore we're connecting.
With more officers and additional lanes on our nation's port of entries, the hope is that trade and tourism will flourish. Reporting from the Hidalgo County newsroom, Brett Crandall, Action 4 News.
Well, Johnson continues his tour of the nation's southern border tomorrow in Arizona.